Alright, welcome. So today we have JANUS here with us. He has been requested quite a bit. So let's get right into it, starting with his abilities. Only a couple points I wanted to make. So starting with his passive, a lot of people just see him, switch around his face, but there's actually a purpose on why he changes faces. So if you go through a threshold or a portal, your next ability cast, it could be hit or miss, has an additional 15% magical power scaling, super strong. As well as if you are able to land your 3 on a target, you gain additional scaling as well, point wise, not percentage, up to 60 points. As far as what abilities that you should level up first, it should be your 2, because you can hit the entire wave. It's your main damaging ability, so your 2, your 1, your 3. You can do your ultimate at all times if you're good at sniping, or you could just leave 1 point into it, and then the other points that you would spend for it, you can max out your other abilities. With the 1 point and through space and time, you're just looking to use this ability just to get you around the map or escape. That's pretty much it. So let's go to actually building JANUS. So starting with Conquest and probably Siege, those couple laning game modes. There are 2 different starter items you can go into. You can go with the high powered start with the Soul Stone. Reason why it's high powered because it's the passive. After 5 souls, your next damaging ability will have plus 60 magical power to it. And you can pair this up with the purple pot. So 50 more magical power for 5 minutes. So if you don't get any gold lead with this, then you kind of miss out on the 450 gold they could use for an actual item, right? So you commonly see this paired up with the Soulstone. However, you can go into the more traditional route and the safer route, going with the Vamp Shroud, looking for the plus 100 health, which is super good early on, and the passive is super strong for sustain. You can pair this up with the purple pot if you want. However, you commonly just see this item picked up with your Lost Artifact. You can also go into the Soulstone Lost Artifact start as well. So with this Lost Artifact item, reason why you see it picked up with the Vamp Shroud early on, for 1, magical power and the MP5 mana per 5 seconds, as well as this tier 1 item built into other great items for JANUS. Like if you want to go for the high risk high reward, you can go to Do More. This gives you up to 140 magical power at full 50 stacks. However, the reason why this is a high risk is if you do die, you lose out on half of your stacks. So it can be really risky, but you are JANUS and you're really slippery. However, if you do want to go with the safer start and you value cooldown reduction, then you can go into the Cross Pennant start. So those are pretty much 2 main items. Now, if you are worried about the enemy physical jungler that is ganking you a lot and you want to be, not die so often, you can go into the Dynasty Plate Helmet start. So the way this works is it's just like a tier 1 item with the Lost Artifact. You go to your Imperial Helmet, go to your boots of your choosing, like the pin boots, go back, pick this up. For the Dynasty Plate Helmet, it's super cheap. As you can see, only 1100 gold to upgrade the tier 1 into this item. So what this item does, it gives you a good amount of magical power, the physical protection against the enemy jungler, and also enemy solo laner, potentially. But what the main point about this is the 15 flat magical penetration early on is super strong. So with that plus 15 here, and then the pin boots plus 10, that's 25 flat magical penetration against a enemy mid laner that is also magical. Most mages don't have a magical protection scaling, meaning they just stay at 30 magical protections at all times during the game. So once you have 25 flat pen, you're almost doing true damage at the first few minutes of the game. And those are your 3 few starts. However, let's just go to a high burst mage for JANUS. So let's go into the Doom Orb or Pinned Boots. After this point, if you do want to go into a stack an item, this is the main section that you want to go into a stack an item. So you can go into the Book of Thoth looking for a lot of damage and also the mana sustain as well. If you want to be a little bit more tankier, you're being targeted a lot, so you can use some more health, then you can just go to the Warlock Sash. However, I would just go into the Book of Thoth here. Next, you definitely need penetration if you're looking to do damage. The best pen item, honestly, right now is the Obsidian Shard. Super cheap, and it's 33 magical penetration, so it's really strong, especially against tankier targets. It's also really good against objectives like towers, phoenixes, and fire giants. After this point, the game is probably ending, so you definitely want to rush right to the Ride to Hootie as soon as you can. And the reason why is because it's a little costly, but you can make really great use of the passive plus 25% more magical power because you have all these other magical power items previously. Once you build this, it's a huge damaging spike, and then you can sell your starter item regardless of what it was for other items that you wanted to get early on or you plan to get the entire time. So if you want to go for even a stronger burst build, you can finish it off with the Slow Reaver. A little pricey, but it has a lot of magical power to it, plus 100, as well as plus 300 mana. This mana is super important, especially if you go with the Book of Thoth, which is based on entirely of mana. And of course, obviously, you can take 15% of somebody's maximum health with one shot with this item. So this is a high burst build. Of course, I don't have any stacks on Book of Thoth, and I'm missing out on 100 magical power because I have no stacks on Doomore. So, however, let's just go into an arena build, something that's a little bit more common for most people. I think arena is probably the most common game mode for PC anyway. So for, casual game modes like arena, you just go into your pin boots. I would personally rush into the Chronos Pennant because you're always fighting in arena. There's no laning phase and jungling and things like that, so you're always fighting. So cooldown reduction is super important when fighting, so I'll go into the Chronos Pennant. If you do want to go to a stack an item, you very well can in arena, as long as you're not competing for minion waves against other people that are stacking, like other, Poseidons or whatever. So you can go to a Book of Thoth if you really want to for arena. However, if you don't really care for stacking items and you just want to go into straight to your build, I would go right into the pin, go to the Obsidian Shard, and I'll go into the Rod Tahuti, and then finish it up with the Soul Reaver. So if you don't get a huge lead, you can pretty much finish these items, and you're going to have a lot of magic power without that last item slot. Because, typically with this build, between Rod Tahuti and Soul Reaver is super expensive. If you're not, fed and not ahead, you're not going to be able to get your last item. However, if you can't get your last item, I feel like the cheapest way to get the most magical power in the time frame for arena, right? You can go into the Book of Thoth. It's fairly cheap for the amount of magical power you have, or magical power you get. So as you can see, I have 519 magical power. You pick this up, and you just spike up for like no reason to 716. Actually, there is a reason, because it's based off of mana. So once you're level 20, like, every time you level up, you get more mana, right? So once you're level 20, you have all this mana. So without stacks, you just pick a Book of Thoth and you just get like 200 magical power. And this would be something I do. And the reason why you get, a lot of magical power from this is because you have Soul Reaver, which has 300 mana. And that's pretty much it. So you may be wondering why I have Frenzy here. I was testing things earlier and I can't sell it. I have no idea why I can't sell it. And that's pretty much it. As far as what would you do if you get JANUS for Assault? You just start with your Chronos Pennant, go into your boots, and then the rest of the items. However, in Assault, you can't get stack items, so you just have to make up for something else. So as far as relics, if you don't want to use your ultimate for the CC immunity, you can go to Purification, and then you can go to other items that you need. It's all situational for relics. So that's going to be it for the build video. Hopefully it was helpful, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.